channel, or welcome back to my channel. My name is Andy, sometimes Mouse, and I talk about books and book related things, and today I'm giving you the final video on my 2023 book blanket. I recognize this is a very strange angle for me to be filming this, and I had like an idea for this, and this is how it is now. So this is what we're getting. Let's cut to a different angle. You're probably asking yourself, Andy, why would you make the book blanket so big that it covers your entire living room floor? And I'm asking myself that as well. I don't actually have an answer to the question, but I'm also asking myself that. Let's talk about some stats, and then I'll show you what this guy looks like on the wall. Here it is. This is the 2023 book blanket. For the quote-unquote big blocks, which are 6 by 6 inches, there is a total of 120 of them. They each took me 20 minutes a piece to make, give or take, which is a total of 40 hours of work. For the quote-unquote small blocks, those are 5 by 5 inches, and they took me about 15 minutes to make, for a total of 35. Oh, sorry, there's 141 of them, which is a total of 35 hours and 15 minutes of work. For the mini blocks, which are 4 by 4, and they are that middle split here, those are 4 by 4. There is 21 of them, or 23 of them, my bad, which took me 10 minutes a piece, and that is a total of 3 hours and 15 minutes of work, which is a grand total of, I believe, 283 or 284 blocks, question mark. I used a variety of different hook sizes, so I can't even get into what hooks I've been using because there were so many. The total time that I spent actually crocheting was around 79 hours total. Jesus. And the total time I spent sewing the two halves together, because if you recall, I had 6 months hung up on the wall as I was working on the next 6 months, so I had them split in two, which was actually pretty smart for me. And then my extras are this middle row here that just kind of connected the two pieces. It meant that I didn't have to work on it as a whole piece for quite a little while. Anyway, the total time to sew those two halves together was an hour and a half, which means that this book blanket, not including the letters because I don't remember and I didn't time those, took me 80 hours and 30 minutes total to do. Wow! Let's go hang this sucker on the wall and talk some more about it, okay? Hanging that back up just took so much of my life force that I think I took years off my life hanging this guy back up. Wow. All right. Anyway, it's back up on the wall. This is pretty much what you've been seeing in my videos prior to this point anyway, except now that everything's put together. Also, it does go from the rack all the way down to the floor. I didn't expect it to actually go all the way down to the floor, but it does. So, moving on. What are my thoughts on the 2023 book blanket? Well, first off, I made it too big. Yeah, I should have been doing 4 by 4 blocks, just in general, should have been doing 4 by 4 blocks. The problem with aphantasia is that I have no idea what size things are going to be, even as I'm making them. And by the time I realized it was too big, I was probably like 3 months along. I also realized that it goes from right to left and then down and over again. Again, hindsight 2020, right? I would have done a better job of those things if I had thought about them ahead of time, but you know, you don't know what you don't know, and this looks way better than 2022's book blanket, so I will take it, and 2023 is just gonna look, or 2024 is just gonna look better from there. So you take what you can get, right? Okay. By November, I did not want to finish this. I was over it. I was done. I knew I was going to have to sew it together. I knew I was going to have to take it down off the wall. I knew it was going to be incredibly heavy and time consuming, and I was just over it. As noted by the fact that it is currently December the 13th, and I'm like, no, I'm done. It's done now. I'm done now. I was ready to move on. I wanted to start 2024, whatever. Am I anti-book blanket project? No, because I have one for 2024. This one was just a bit of an undertaking, and I register that now because I have started 2024, like the setup for it, and doing the books that I already have planned for January 2024 took me a total of 40 minutes, whereas this was an undertaking of time. Like, it was a lot of time. So I think it's interesting. the time differences that this blanket is going to have compared to what next year's blanket is. If I remember, I won't. If I remember, maybe I'll compare the time between the 2 years. It is very, very cool to see a visual representation up on my wall of how much of a genre loyalist I am. Like, this blanket is predominantly pink and purple, fantasy and horror. Like, that is my shit. There was a month where thriller was really coming in on top, but is that really that different from horror? Yes, but also no. So, you know, again, it's very cool to see a representation of that, but I'm still over this book. To be fair, I sewed it together yesterday, so we're still currently in our resentment phase of the book blanket. Making the letters for the months of the year was a fun little break to the monotony of granny squares. They did get monotonous. However, I will say that making granny squares taught me a lot about the basics of crochet that I missed out on by starting with amigurumi. I personally do not recommend that anyone starts with amis for their, like, if they're just starting crochet out for the first time. I super don't recommend those for beginners. They're in all the beginner kits, like wobble crochet or whatever the fuck it's called is like, yeah, these are great starter projects. No, they're not. They're literally not. The only reason that they're great starter projects is that you can whip them up pretty quickly, but that's just assuming that you already know how to crochet. They are tedious and tiny and frustrating and the same stitch for 100 years, and so I don't recommend them for beginners. I do recommend granny squares. So if you're thinking about starting crocheting, I would recommend doing something with a granny square project first. You can whip up like a quick little bag, a book cover even. There's a lot of things you can do with granny squares. However, if I never make another granny square for the rest of my life, it will be too soon. I have made almost 300 granny squares at this point, and I'm over it. I never want to make another granny square for the rest of my life. I hate them now. I resent them. I think they're great if you are a beginner. I think they taught me a lot, and I am grateful for that. I hate them. I hate them. I liked my book blanket. Yeah, anyway, I think it's cool. I think it's beautiful. It was fun to make. It has been an undertaking. I overestimated myself once again, just like last year. And this is it. This is her. This is the last we'll talk about the 2023 book blanket. If you have any questions about making a book blanket, you can ask me in the comments down below. I have a bunch of videos about mine. I think I'll probably make a playlist of my book blanket videos, just any book blanket video. I'll probably make a video or make a playlist of all of them so that, you know, people can reference it, and maybe I'll like link it somewhere, make a card or something. I don't know. I never remember to do that, but maybe I will for this time. Maybe I will this time. So yeah, that's it. That's the book blanket. I don't know what else to say. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like and subscribe and share. Like I said, if you have questions or comments or whatever, put them down in the comments below. It helps me out a lot when people interact on posts, so thanks. If you didn't enjoy this video, I'm sorry, and I don't know what to tell you. And what else? I post videos every Tuesdays and Thursdays, except for the first full week of the month. Don't forget to take your meds, drink your water, and do something today to take care of yourselves. Don't make a giant granny square blanket to take care of yourself. Make a normal sized granny square blanket if you're gonna do that. Yeah. All right, I'm gonna go. Okay, thanks, bye.